Hello and welcome to Aging Fearlessly. I'm your host, Guillermo, and I hope you're enjoying these weekly programs. Well, I hate to say it, but even I'm surprised that the marriage of Golden Bachelor Gerry and Theresa Nist only lasted 3 months. However, the dysfunction that they experienced was altogether predictable. Now, this is not an I told you so piece, for nothing could be gained by doing that. But the fact is that these people went into this marriage with their best intentions, and the pain and embarrassment that they must feel for the failure of such a high-profile, well-publicized marriage cannot be easy to take. I actually put a lot of the blame on the producers of the show, who've come up with this idea of taking perfect strangers, putting them together in a very artificial environment, and then putting pressure on them to get married. In essence, they're taking one of the most difficult decisions in human life, that of choosing an appropriate partner, and we all know how difficult that is, and trivializing it into some conjured up TV adventure. Now, I know there's no one holding a gun to anyone's head to do this, but it is a trap of sorts, one that promises money and fame. But I doubt Turner and Nist think this was worth it, considering the ridicule they're receiving for having failed at their marriage so quickly. Now, I know there are those who say that everybody got a great payday out of this, so they all walked out happily. And I can be part of that group at times, but the fact is that that's a pretty cynical way to look at this. I tend to think that the people went into this excited and wondering what it would be like to enter this contest, and then felt an incredible amount of pressure between what the producers were asking of them to do and then the overwhelming publicity they got from being told that they were inspiring millions of people who were watching. Now, having been divorced twice, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. To me, divorce felt about as painful as taking my eyelid and pulling it over the top of my head. This was a very trying time, and I can't help but be sympathetic to the pain and disappointment the Golden Bachelor and his bride must be feeling. However, from the moment I started watching this program, I couldn't help but think that the participants, considering their age, had to know better than to think you could create an artificial situation that would speed up the process that it takes to get to know another person well enough to make a long-term commitment. Things have their own process and timing. For example, you cannot force water to boil. You can turn the heat on, but it takes what it takes. The same can be said about relationships. When you rush into them, the outcome will not be a good one. Now, what could they have done differently? Of course, the answer to this question depends on your life experience. When you're younger, you put much more emphasis on physical attraction and sex, probably more than anything else. But as you get older, especially the age of the Golden Bachelor and his bride, you should know and understand the role that romance and physical attraction play in the overall scheme of a relationship. This assessment is what I think was missing out of this whole Golden Bachelor fantasy. Now, there's a famous quote attributed to the head of a presidential campaign who gave his candidate the following advice. It is about the economy, stupid. So let me rework that quotation so that it applies to romantic relationships. It's about the red flag, stupid. In this particular case, you would have thought that the Golden Bachelor and Theresa Nist knew that living in 2 different states was a really big red flag. You would think they would have worked that out before they opted for a wedding ceremony, but they didn't. Big short circuit there. But there were other red flags that I certainly noticed about the Golden Bachelor that were revealed in the series. I spoke about them in previous programs. In particular, I just thought he was disingenuous and manipulative when he told 3 separate women that he loved them, and then in a span of 12 hours told 2 of them he didn't love them anymore. Now, I can only imagine what Theresa Nist, the future bride, must have felt if she saw the videos of the various programs that outline Gerry Turner's behavior towards those other 2 women. But that's not for me to judge. My main point is that it takes time to understand what another person is all about. Now, I'm not saying that attraction and physical intimacy are not important. They are, but they don't tell the whole story. At this point in my life, I realize that it's easy to see someone's glowing points about them right away, but it takes time to see the blemishes. And it's only when you can see both of them that you can determine whether you can live with that or not. Attraction and physical intimacy are important, but they're like the frame to a picture. While they help to make the whole picture beautiful, you would never buy a picture just because of its frame. So when it comes to a love partner, you want to appreciate and want the whole picture, not just the frame. In The Golden Bachelor, it was clear that getting to that point would be an impossibility because of the way the program is set up. It's all roses and fluff. That's why once they got married, I thought it was only a matter of time before that house of cards came tumbling down. Now I'm saddened that it did, and I wish them both well and hope that they learn something, some kind of lesson that will help them in the future of their relationships. But remember, having a partner is not one of life's needs. It is a choice. Take the time it takes to make a good one.